Yo, what's up, guys? I want to talk about some Gunbreaker. Now, again, I didn't go to the media tour. I'm just going off of tooltips, and the media tour build is going to be different than the actual release too. Again, like potencies, that kind of stuff, like little stuff here and there. We're just going to have to wait. Don't take anything as 100%. Basically, everything is subject to change. But with all that being said, let's talk about Gunbreaker, man. Gunbreaker looks fucking sick. However, I do have some issues with it. I want to talk about the issues first. I want to get the bad out of the way first. One of my main issues with Gunbreaker is the continuation. I think continuation is not something that should be on a tank. I don't like having one of your off GCD slots basically being held hostage. I don't think that's good design for a tank, but they apparently think it's great design, and that's fine. You might think it's good design too. We can just agree to disagree. However, I think it is extremely clunky when you're trying to weave in defensive cooldowns or move the boss while using continuation. So one of the changes that I was hoping to see is that it would have a range. Like continuation would have like, like a longer range or something, maybe like, 7 yalms or something, but unfortunately it's not. It is what it is. Basically, I just think it's horrible for weaving, and they only made it worse because now your burst strike has a continuation. This was shown off and demonstrated in the trailer. It's called hypervelocity. That's pretty much my biggest complaint outside of abilities that you purely use in your DPS steroids. So like Sonic Break, Bow Shock, I just think they're filler abilities. I'm not really a fan of filler abilities. I mentioned this earlier, in my Dark Knight video. I'm just not a fan of filler abilities. I like my abilities that have purpose, and you almost never use Bow Shock or Sonic Break outside of your No Mercy window, and I'm just, they could have just made better ways to do damage. But anyway, that's like, I guess that's just my opinion. Let's talk about some of the new abilities. Double Down is, it's just like Sonic Break, just like Bow Shock. You just use it in your No Mercy, and it takes 2 cartridges. They increase the amount of cartridges you can get now to 3. Instead of just 2. This ability uses 2, and you only use it in No Mercy. I'm sure there will be a situation where you use this maybe outside of No Mercy, but the times that that's going to happen, I think is going to be extremely rare. So basically, you just have another ability that you only use in No Mercy on your hotbar. So it's like you use this once every minute. I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan. I was fucking around with like the rotation of Gunbreaker, and I found myself discovering some issues. And I don't want to go too deep into it because, again, the potency on these abilities, they're not 100% and they can change. So as far as coming up with a rotation, as far as coming up with like a No Mercy Bloodfest rotation, I will go over what I discovered, but I'm not going to go too deep into it because honestly, we're not sure yet. So anyone that comes up with that shit, they're probably going to be wrong when the expansion actually releases. And I'll go into that later. But for now, Double Down, you just use it in your No Mercy, and it's just, a 1200 potency ability, which we're not sure if it is 1200, but it basically just uses 2 cartridges. So the DPS rotation of Gunbreaker, one thing I found is that Burst Strike is now more powerful than Gnashing Fang, which doesn't make sense to me. So like for your Bloodfest No Mercy window, it's actually going to be better to use Gnashing Fang outside of No Mercy. So that way at the very end, you get another Burst Strike because Burst Strike has like 50 higher potency. It also doesn't make sense that No Mercy is 20 seconds when they added a cartridge. This needs to be like 22 or 25 for you to be able to fit in all of your ammo combo and all of your burst strikes. But like I said, these tooltips, I don't want to get too deep into it, but more or less I found some weird shit going through the rotation. So I'm not going to really take that to heart. I don't want to get too deep into it because these potencies could be wrong. Like it could turn out the burst strike is like 350, Gnashing Fang's 360. So then that way it would be more potent to use Gnashing Fang. So that's why I don't want to get too deep into it. But I want to just talk about the new abilities and stuff because Gunbreaker saw some really awesome changes. And I don't want to get hung up on that DPS shit, especially when we don't have the full picture. But basically, Camouflage, still Camouflage. The AoE is still AoE. Nebula is still Nebula. Aurora now has 2 charges, which is awesome. It's free. I like Aurora. It's a free ability. You just spam it on yourself, spam it on the tank who has threat. It's good shit. 2 charges. Good change. Superbolide now lasts 10 seconds instead of 8. This is fucking awesome. Heart of Light is still pretty much the same. Heart of Stone still pretty much the same, but it gets upgraded to a ridiculous ability. Heart of Corundum or Corundum, I don't know. Corundum reduces damage by self or a party member. So this is, you can use it on yourself. It's the same as Heart of Stone. Use it on a party member, use it on yourself. It also applies Brutal Shell, and it grants clarity of the Corundum to target, which also reduces damage taken by another 15%. So this right here is like 28% mitigate, well, 30%, but it's actually like 28. So it's like 30% for 4 seconds, and then it drops down to 15 for the last 4. And it also grants an XCOG So restores HP when HP falls below 50% or upon effective duration. It doesn't really say the potency, so we don't really know. It might be really shit, but it might be really good. But the fact that it actually gives you 30% mitigation and gives you a fucking XCOG is nuts. It is bonkers on a 25-second cooldown and costs nothing. This is not tied to your damage. This is not tied to like a cartridge, nothing. It's literally just free, man. Like, this ability is crazy. In Shadowbringers, one of the abilities I was impressed with the most was actually Heart of Stone. I thought Heart of Stone would be so super good, and it turned out that it was super good. And now they upgraded this. There's no way that this is 30%. Like, there's no way, right? This is so good. This is busted, man. This is crazy good. But anyway, this is really, really fucking powerful, and I can't wait to use this ability. The traits are here. You get Enhanced Aurora. You get your cartridge charge 2. Bloodfest, you know, gives you 3 instead of 2 now. You also get Hyper Velocity, which is the continuation from Burst Strike. Overall, I think the changes to Gunbreaker, it's mixed for me. I think that its defensive options are amazing. I think that its offensive options are restricting. I'm not a fan of having yet another ability that I only use in my No Mercy. I think that this is kind of annoying. Now it's another hotbar slot on an already filled hotbar job. They did say that they were condensing Gnashing Fang into one button, so that will help. That definitely will help, but you're still gonna have a lot of buttons here, man. This does free up 2 potential slots though, so that's good. I'm just not a fan of Double Down being only a No Mercy. It's just I just think it's a filler ability. But my biggest issue is that now Burst Strike has a continuation. So currently what I would like to do is if I needed to move the boss, I would use a Burst Strike and then move the boss while popping 2 defensive cooldowns. But you're not going to be able to do that anymore, which is really fucking obnoxious because now Burst Strike has continuation. Basically, continuation sucks dick for having to move the boss or popping defensive cooldowns. There's a lot of times where I can't even shirk. I just have to turn off my stance and let the other tank voke because I don't have any off GCD slots available. So it's really fucking obnoxious sometimes, man. And I think that it's just going to get worse because now Burst Strike has continuation. For people that like continuation, then I'm sure you're thrilled. But for me personally, I think the continuation is clunky for no reason. It's very restrictive, and I don't think it should be on a tank. I don't think that a tank should have to have an off GCD slotted at that particular time. So overall, the good things are super good, and the bad things are just kind of annoying. I think they're just personal biased, really. But I am excited to play it. I think it is going to be fun. I still think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be very powerful. Heart of Corundum is very, very, very good. But anyway, man, yo, that about wraps it up. Overall, I'm really happy with the changes, you know. Love the defensives. But yeah, man, I'll see you guys later. Peace.